The local and county governments have been already in conference for the last, 24, 48 hours. Apparently, they also had some heads up so that they were getting ready for possible escalation. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just kind of wondering, Mark, you said it's October 8th of 2020, and, today I'm kind of seeing the same kind of maneuver that took place on March 27th of 2010. I mean, here we are with the FBI coming up with a laundry list of charges against some individuals that, well, first off, have you ever heard of these people before? Because I never have.
Right.
And if there were this many people here in a group in Michigan, I'm pretty sure that either me or you would have at least heard of these individuals or this group. So I'm already starting to throw up the bullcrap card. So then I go and I look at the criminal complaint. And we have this Richard J. Trask II, who's an FBI criminal complaint special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And he goes on and what all he's been trained in, which comes down to I went to Quantico and learned how to lie.
I'm going to say, he took the liar's course, sir. Yeah, but he got the advanced liar's course. You should be listening to him because he's a really good liar, sir.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, let's remember, and see, these lawyers for these guys that they're going to get immediately need to contact, myself or one of the lawyers that was involved in our case, because, see, these guys take a course, an undercover course in Quantico where they are trained to lie.
Dave,
okay, that
Mark,
takes part of their undercover course.
Before you guys continue, I'm going to put this out there. Where we did the reset, the stream is relisted right now. If you know anybody who you want to get in to hear this, guys, tell them to jump over there. Because of the power outage, the stream is listed again. You can get in and listen to us on YouTube for however long that lasts.
All right. But anyways, they are trained to lie. They go through a course. So anytime you see, I'm a sworn FBI agent and I've had training, no, you went to Quantico and you went through a course and they specifically trained you how to lie to the citizens and lie in trial, because that come out at our trial. I mean, it's obvious that that's what's going on. They sign a non-disclosure agreement, and they can't even talk about it without having charges filed against them. So it's that drastic of a course that they go through. But anyways, he goes on to talk about how they vetted. Now, get this. Now, let me get here. They vetted the confidential human source, which is their informants. So let's look at their vetting process. Remember Dan Murray? I tried to kill myself, and I had so many charges against me that they kind of just forced me into it. And I was an alcoholic and a drug addict, and the list goes on and on. That's their vetting process.
And
so their confidential human sources are liars to start with. They're just lying to stay out of jail themselves.
Now, don't forget that in the process, they'll also try to kill their wives a couple of times, too. For those of you who aren't familiar, this character, they did everything they could to try and grease up that pig, and that pig didn't fit. That pig, no matter how hard they tried, that in the long term, that pig turned out to be demonstrated to be just a nonstop criminal, a liar. And he was, a commercial liar. That's what he was. Go ahead.
So now let's go on. Let's go into part of the investigation. The suspects now under arrest are alleged to have called on the group's members to identify the home addresses of law enforcement officers. Where have we heard that from? 2010. In order to target them, made threats of violence to instigate a civil war leading to social collapse. Where have we heard that from? That's right. Again, 2010. And engaged in the planning and training for an operation to attack the state capitol building. Let's remove state capitol building and let's put in FEMA headquarters of Chicago, and you have everything that was put into the Hurtari trial. And kidnap government officials. Remember, we had a hit list. They had all these federal judges and all these other people.
Real quick, they accuse you guys of trying to track down the cops' home and going there to do something to the police. You guys didn't do that. That was proven as a lie. But you know what? Antifa can do it, and they can get away with it. Remember that the one cop, they went to his house, they harassed his wife, they threatened to kill her, and no charges pressed against them.
Of course not. Okay, so, but then, on top of this, now, and this is what I find extremely hilarious. So hold on here, Mark. It gets better. According to FBI, Garvin, I guess one of these guys that got arrested, offered to paint his personal boat black so they could be on the lake where Whitmer's vacation home was located. I'm pretty sure that in a Hutari trial, weren't they talking about the militia navy? That, you know, we had our own navy, and that's, you know, we were going to use them as well. Do you remember that part? So here we are again. Oh my God, we're going to use boats because, you know, we have these watercraft that can take on the oceans and take out, you know, Coast Guard cutters and all this other crap. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, this looks just like 2010 all over again. I don't believe a word that's coming out of their mouth. But, and it goes on here, and this is in one of the newspapers that was given to me. Thursday's case is the second major militia case brought by the feds of Michigan in a decade. The last one, remember, it was exactly just over 10 years ago, so yeah, I guess you could call it a decade. The last one, however, was a major embarrassment for the federal government, ending in the vindication of all the defendants, some who had been jailed for years. All faced up to life in prison, but their trial ended abruptly in 2012 when U.S. District Judge Victoria Roberts concluded that the government failed to prove its case. If you remember right, the government put all their evidence that they had out there, which amounted to nothing, and they rested, and that's whenever the judge says, I'll hold it. No. And our lawyer said, we want an acquittal. We want an acquittal hearing, which we got, and we got our acquittal. But here we are again, just over 10 years later, and it's almost verbatim, what come out in our case in 2010. So right away, I'm going to say, I don't believe anything the media is saying. I don't believe anything the FBI is saying. And I definitely don't believe anything that Whitler up there in Lansing has to say. So what I'm saying here is, boys, this is just another blatant attack on the militia movement in the state of Michigan. And I think you better get things in order and, you know, because they could probably kick in some more doors because we're going to try and make this bigger than what it is. Because remember our trial, what they wanted to do is they wanted to arrest the 9 of us first, but then they wanted to use a net sweeping movement and just arrest hundreds, and drag them in. And
it's the same thing they're saying right now, that they want to, there could be 300 or 400 other people they want to arrest, blah, 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 blah. So let's not forget that this is the same game. And by the way, the same character that was in charge of your case is in charge of this operation right now with the feds over there. I was just
anyways,
they just threw the name at me a minute ago, but it's behind me. We got all kinds of people, you know, reporting in, and so one of the names that popped up. In fact, forgive me, but they're around the corner, so I can't shout at them again. I'll get the information here in a minute. But apparently, the same director that was tied in with yours is now the skank, you know, that's pulling the strings on this one.
So what I have told,
copy is what it comes down to, and it's not an accident. We're how close to the election?
Yeah.
Guys, the shipwreck is here, okay? The shipwreck is coming. I already told you, they're going to tear the bottom of the boat out economically, which they already have. But October is when the government money shift takes place. Do you know I posted that on Facebook, and their face checkers, that's not true. What do you mean that's not true? This is the turnaround. October is when the whole federal budget, it doesn't come in January, it starts in October. Okay, so, but here's what's fascinating is they're trying desperately not to have anybody look at the money. So step one is they're going to try, and everybody's supposed to get caught flat-footed with the money disappearing. This is what they did with the Great Depression. Step two is that they're going to physically attack the population, not us, the other side. And remind everybody that the same liars right now that have been generating all this crap over and over again are the same ones who are after Trump. So if you got any Trumpers, you know, Trumpettes that are doing the blue line BS, remind them, really? Well, the FBI, those are the people, I mean, aren't they the ones that lied about Trump? Oh, yeah, they lied about Trump. Well, if they lied about Trump, why are you believing them about anything else? Didn't they just
how many times do they lie and you just keep believing their lie? It's absurd.
Seem to let it ride. Okay, so I think everybody, well, actually, everybody's laughing. There's two directions. Now, they don't think this is funny, but they're laughing at the idea, well, they were going to take and kidnap Granholm. I keep doing that. It's the Canadian Californicator, Greta Bruce Jenner. Greta Bruce Jenner, guys, nobody is going to kidnap anybody. Okay, does everybody understand? Nobody would bother to carry anybody away. It's just like in the field. Nobody will be negotiating or talking with anybody. There's going to be only sharp barking noises, and that's going to be it.
It's like I've been saying. Nobody wants Whitmer, not even Biden.
No.
Whenever you lose to the prostituting whore from California, you know that you're at the very bottom of the pile. Nobody wants you.
Right. And again, I think the glossy, shiny, whatever that is on the face of the thing kind of turns a lot of them off. So, no, this is what's going on here, though, is that it's demonstrating that the enemy is in motion. We're going to see a series of propaganda pieces, not just here in Michigan. This is going to happen in several locations all over the United States as a precursor to Antifa, the FBI, Black Lives Matter, and the ATF all working together against the American people. That's what this is. This is the FBI in its communist mode. The FBI, if Biden comes in, they've already told you they're coming after the guns. This FBI will follow those orders. So are you supporting the FBI that is going to be coming after your gun? The ATF under Trump just started going after the pistol AR-15s. I read the article yesterday. I told you so. Once Trump opened that can of worms with arbitrary and capricious action, weapons that were already approved and already went through the vetting, that term you just heard that Dave used, okay, vetting. The government has to see your product. The government has to look at your product. Then they have to approve your product before you can make a gun. You understand that, right? So these companies all did this. They stood on one leg, they patted their tummy, they blinked their eyes, they went back and forth, and they all thought they were special pet puppies because they all have cop shop connections. I guarantee it. They all thought, well, we're cop shop this and cop shop that and cop shop, yeah, huh? And so now all of a sudden, guess what? Now they turned around and said, stop right now, and all that you produced, everything you produced, all the way up to now, and all the way back from the beginning, is now a Class 3 or an NFA short rifle weapon, a illegal blah blah blah, which is irrelevant, but we know the scam. And so now all of a sudden, here's the problem. All the people who sold all those weapons, and I told you, it was bump stocks, and a bunch of fools, a bunch of idiots, a bunch of stupid people said, well, I don't care because I don't need a bump stock. And a bunch of those fools and idiots and stupid people were the ones who had these little pistols because they're cop wannabes. I got that Blue Lives Matter rag in the corner over there. Yeah, you do. And guess what? They just put the crosshairs on you. And there's no way you can unfix this, you see, because, guys, that's why somebody told me about, we're going to buy one. Two people did. I said, hell no. And this was just about the time that they first started the bump stock thing. And I pointed out, here's why. Well, here's why. So where we are now is the cascade has begun. The enemy is going to throw out their propaganda, laugh at them, but, laugh. Anybody who starts bringing this up, it's like, laugh at them. It's like, really? And point out the things that we pointed out, especially with all these Trumpers around. So the FBI said this, eh? Yeah, the FBI. Do you think they're truthful? Well, because it's in the news. Okay, first of all, there's two things here I think everybody better step back and think about. Number one, it's the FBI that's been lying about Trump, right? Right, Dave? The FBI's been lying about Trump. And then it's the controlled media, the same controlled media that's been lying about Trump. Channel 7 News in Detroit, the New York Times. Come on, let's go down the shopping list here. So if you were to talk to a Trumpet about that, he'd be like, oh, my boy Trump, they attacked my boy Trump. Okay, yeah, they did. And it's a lie. Yeah, it's absolutely a lie. It's all lies. Well, then you agree that they're lying about the Patriot movement, the militia, right? Well, Norman coordinate. See how that works? See, again, notice we're jumping on this right away for a reason. I did this when Dave was it. How many people remember I did exactly right now Dave, when they were going and bad-mouthing you, bunch of people crapped their drawers, bunch of people defecated their spines out, and we're doing all kinds of mish stuff all over the place. And you know what? What you're hearing right now, this is my attitude across the board, and it's gotten worse, so to speak, since in the last 4 years, 5 years, especially because, guys, the writing's on the wall. It is not if, it is only when. Now, I'm going to tell you right now what we're ready for here in Michigan. Michigan can't count on Michigan to betray the country, as far as the communist gangs. The Canadians they're planning on using the Canadians here, and I would tell everybody listening right now that I would be ready that they've probably given special dispensation, like they've already done for the Canadian police on the rails, that they're giving special dispensation to bring Canadian troops against Michigan to be used in this occupation of the United States. I'm telling you right now, we may see them right now, where we're going to have right next to the FBI and the SRT for the state police, there will be Canadian military and there will be other foreign military, but Canadian military specifically. This is no different under their interlocutory agreements they signed 2 years ago, the newest ones, also which another signature pack came up here. And here's what's interesting. You might recall when I did this on the air, they had the commander of the military force signing the interlocutory agreement, not the premier of Canada. Does anybody remember that? They had a British/Canadian military general signing a treaty document to bring foreign troops onto American soil in future operations. What business does a foreign military officer have in signing a police state interlocutory agreement with the state of Michigan, the state of New York, the state of Ohio, and the state of Wisconsin? Does anybody remember when I covered this? See, when you shoot them, you're going to hear a lot of, oh, I got shot, eh? Oh, my God, eh? Hey, I got shot. Oh, hey, we surrender, eh? Well, guess what? Yeah, that word isn't in the book. Like I said, we're not taking any hostages. I would also point out there's probably a lot of other things that we're not taking. Go down the shopping list. That's not in our vocabulary.
We will be taking aim.
Yeah, we will be taking aim. That's about it. But all the other taking, fill in the blank, it's not in our vocabulary anymore. That we're all finished with that. And notice how, am I sounding like I'm, oh my God? No. Last night, actually, we already started, again, rumorations were, such that everybody is pretty well, it's just like we're putting a glove on nowadays. Not panicking, just ready to deal with the problem. All of you need to be thinking the same way. That diversion you're trying to ignore is the attack you have been expecting. And we're going to get into a conflict, a war, one way or another, and if it's going to start, like I said, use it or lose it. All the firepower you have, you might as well, bring it to bear and cook it. Let nothing but a rumor of their destruction return to where they came from. That's all that's left. There isn't any conversation. Here's another thing. You cannot be behind the wire with what's coming. Does everybody understand that? You cannot be behind the wire with what's coming. You can't. Because their solution, got to remember, these are globalists. Their attitude will be that if they get rid of you, they don't have to feed you, but they also don't have to worry about keeping track of you. Just a heads up, which is why, again, this is it. Any day, this is it. Every day you watch your rear view mirrors. Every day you're watching what are supposedly the oblique points. When you are traveling, when you are moving, when you are working, remember, they will try to ambush you at work. Does everybody understand that? All the friends, a lot of guys that have whole businesses, they're all carrying guns now. Most of these guys that work for private businesses are all pro-patriot. Everybody carries personal arms with them, and a certain number of people are designated on standby. If they're on the ground, like when they're at a work site, they've got rifles on standby. That's how we already know this is coming. And you want to practice beforehand so that when you make contact, they come out to grab somebody at a work site, shoot their ass. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Someone's going to shoot their ass. We already have seen this before, but we've already unwound that so that now we know how to deal with this. We know how to deal with this. We know we're going to have to deal with this. We're going to have to get rid of this problem. Or we're going to have to, and again, I don't want to talk to anybody. Not on the other side, not relevant. It's like, so we need to talk. No, you already threw that out the window. And again,
there is no negotiating.
Yeah, we didn't pick our house up and put a band-aid on and go down the road. These assets have come out over and over again, and everybody's fed up with it. And there is no solution in November. There's nothing coming up in November that's going to fix this. By the way, this FBI is the FBI that has been attacking Trump the whole time for 4 years that he's been in office. So how can you have any confidence in it? How could you believe it? How could you trust it? It's demonstrated it's a political hack. It has, for whatever reason, again, banned the bureaucracy. In and of itself, if that's the case, it is now an overbearing and contrary bureaucratic mechanism that needs to be gone. But they're going to be frothing at the mouth and howling at the moon. You got to remember, the Jewish mafia, Oakland County owns all the propaganda media in Michigan. So the Jewish mob are going to be telling all of them to howl at the moon. Keep that in mind. Pay attention to who it is that does that. Pay attention to who the owners of the company are. Pay attention to who the editors are by name. That's what needs to be done. Anyway, Dave, jump in there. Anything else, please?
No, basically all I'm saying is one of the things we're telling all of our guys is, we're running on a doomsday switch. So rather than call and say, oh my God, something's wrong, here we go, we got to go. Here's how this works. Because the first thing they want to do is cut off all your communication to make sure you can't contact each other. So this is how this works. If the phones go down, it's on. Pure and simple. So all you FBI agents listening and all you little snitches that, get on the programs here and you run back to your little masters, make sure you inform them, if we cut communications, then they already are going to assume that we've attacked. And that's how we need to proceed forward. We need to use the Russian system, not the American system.
Right.
The Russian.
It's called the Russian. It's a Russian dead hand. In other words, in fact, everybody's already pulled the trigger. It's just the safety gets pushed instead of the trigger's pulled. The sear is already in motion technically. And I think again in this situation, guys, look at the date. This is a crock across the board, but it's not a surprise. And remember, the dirty whores that you have that are in all of these federal agencies, these lodge buddies, all of these Masonic types, the yarmulke wearers, all the turds that are neocons. Neocon is nothing but another communist. Okay, in fact, I'll remind everybody again. It was the neocons, George Herbert Walker Bush, that pushed NAFTA and GATT to destroy the economy of the United States, not Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton signed what George Bush constructed. You all remember that? Some of you young people haven't been properly reinforced and reminded. And what we're dealing with here right now, these are the turds that have betrayed this country for decades. This country has been on fire for more than a year, and they didn't stop any of it, people. Let me give you an example. A bunch of Americans are in their homes here in Michigan, and the FBI is going after them. How about Milwaukee? How about Kenosha? Well, how about, Seattle, Tacoma? How about, Portland? In fact, those are just Atlanta. The Fed and all of these rank operations let all of that go right to burn down. And you're telling me that I'm supposed to worry about some patriots in Michigan? You can piss off, eat feces, and die. You look at this country. Did we do any of that? Have you seen? Are we going to go out? I've told you this before. I want to remind everybody again, especially all you Americans out there that are listening, and maybe for the first time. We aren't the ones that went out there and burned down those cities. We're builders. I don't throw a rock and break glass. I don't break things. I was taught to have reverence for other people's property. In fact, even if it isn't somebody else's property, I'm just not that kind of destructive. I'm not that kind of stupid. So I'm not going down the street here and burn down my neighbor's business. I'm not going downtown, to see how many places I can break up and how much physical damage I can do to my own community. We don't do that. Now, we're going to end up fighting to do that. Well, and you know what? Because the enemy has come to us, just like the enemy has come to us. Just like Black Lives Matter, BLM garbage, just like the kill all the white people garbage. They're coming to us. And I say there is no difference between the feds and Antifa and the Black Lives Matter and the kill all the white people crew. They are all riding together. And if you don't think so, then otherwise we wouldn't have had this country burned down in the last 7 months. And by the way, that FBI was under the control of, well, that's right, Donald Trump, in theory. But everybody keeps making excuses. So here's another thing to remember again. That FBI did nothing because it didn't want to do anything, because it liked the country being burned down, didn't it? Is that the FBI you're going to believe? Is that the FBI you're going to trust? You've got to be an idiot, an incompetent, or a fool if you do. And again, right now, guys, you use the argument I just used for the Trumpers, especially, who are doing the, well, militia, blah, blah, blah. Do you believe that? Are you that stupid? Treat people this way. Are you that stupid? Isn't this the FBI that lied about Trump? Oh, yeah! Isn't this the FBI and the controlled media that lied about Trump? Oh, yeah! Isn't this the New York Times that's been pissing on Trump? Oh, yeah! So why are you believing them about the Patriot movement? In fact, it shows you that for years, for decades, the Patriot movement has been absolutely right and been telling everybody the truth. And these pigs and Yehudi trash and swine, the filth, the excrement, these doormats have been lying to you every step of the way, haven't they?
Hey, Mark, and I just noticed something here while reading through this. These people are being charged as gang membership. So being in a militia is a gang. Do we all understand that? We all hear that, right? Being in a militia is being in a gang. That's how they identify you. That's what they think of you. So keep that in consideration anytime. We just want to talk to you.
All of us Americans are considered that way by the globalists. I mean, remember that even the verbiage, that the terrorist scam, as far as that word was pulled out of the government's arse. And when you looked up the term terrorism up until, like a lot of the other stuff they flipped, it was always government-sponsored terrorism. That's the definition of terrorism, a sub-reference, government-sponsored terrorism. But remember that once they started this globalist internationalist crap with Homeland Security and all the rest of this excrement and filth that we have here, which we have walked you through step by step, year after year, then everything, as I said in American Peril, the original, everything will become a crime. That's what communists do. That's what the communists in the FBI do. That's what the monarchist communists, because there's no difference between a monarchist and a communist. Both believe that you are property of the state. And are totally contrary to our belief system, period. Go ahead.
It's not just what you do now that's a crime, it's what you think.
Right, and again, when you get to that point, you ain't got nothing to lose and everything to gain by putting a bullet on them, and again, you're dealing with a problem, and that's where we are. So, escalation is is most likely. The big thing here is, like I said, no conversations. There's no discussions, no conversations. Everybody understand that? In fact, let me explain the best way that everybody should be thinking right now about your part of the world is, if you ever watched the movie Heat. Ever watched the movie Heat? Remember when that last bank job that they were doing? Everything's going, they're running their like clockwork. He gets out to the vehicle. The last one is coming to the vehicle. He looks up. What does he see? Does he even have, is there any conversation? Is there any Kodak moment with any kind of hesitation and moments and seconds and almost a half-minute worth of, what do I do? No, it's up, boop, 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 and boop, 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 and boop, and boop, and boop. You all see how that works? Now that's how people are thinking right now. Remember, the vehicle is the first weapon, no matter what. You got 2 tons worth of something that you're driving, that's the first weapon. Keep all your fuel tanks topped. Make sure all your fuel tanks are topped. Make sure all of your fuel tanks are topped off. Make sure all of your fuel tanks are topped off. Just a heads up. Anyway, otherwise, other exciting things. Well, again, bad guys are in motion. You should be too. And what a surprise! Ain't nothing. There's nothing that's surprising us here. By the way, hold on a second. Arena is the one who's in charge of this at the on the other side.
Same one that was in charge of Hutari case.
You got that, Dave?
Oh, of course.
Yep.
You get a black guy in the Western District or in Eastern District, so you'd run the Western District. Hey, Arena, I hate to inform you, but we're in the Western District now. So, and we got all kinds of ammo in our acquittal and in our case to eat you alive in this court case. So, like I said, as soon as the lawyers get on this, I'm pretty sure we're going to probably be reaching out one way or another. And we're going to give them all kinds of ammo to devour the FBI and their operation to give them a second black guy.
Actually, we've got somebody asking right now about two things. Number one, getting the lawyers over there from, that were participant in this case. What does it take to get them over there? In other words, possibly financing if there's additional cost. And the other is, have they set a bail for them?
Oh, well, I guarantee you they will not get bail. Because what it is you either bond out or you don't, and it's a personal bond in the federal cases, and they will immediately say they are a threat to society, and we can't afford to let them out.
Right.
So they will be denied bail. They will be denied bond. So they will sit in Wayne County Jail or St. Clair Jail until at such time that, about 6 months to 8 months into this process, that they can transfer them to the Milan Detention Center to hold them there.
They actually may go to Terre Haute from there. They may end up in Terre Haute, going south, if it's fed. Remember that. They're the other district, so that's a straight shot south. So it could be, like you said, either one. But the idea here is you're being punished even while you're being charged, and you can't get that. You're not going to get that life's time back. We've got to.
And you do not have the ability to defend yourself properly because they will throw, like us, we got 2 terabytes worth of discovery, so they're going to get bombarded with stacks and stacks and stacks of paper, and you got everybody in jail trying to jump your case. So you already cannot defend yourself, and they know this. And they put informants in with you. They'll even put as we found out, they will put a U.S. Marshal that's in training. They will send them in like they're a criminal, and they're going to try and butter up to you to get any information that maybe they don't know about. Because remember, they do not have a case. They arrest you on suspicions, and then after they have you in custody, they try and build a case. So everything you're hearing right now is their opinion, their observation. So I would.
It's a lie.
I would say, you know what? I don't believe anything they say, and proceed from there.
Yep. And now, one of the things, again, remember, this is the electronic data age. Yep, they will lie and fabricate and engineer people. I have tapes that are the actual dispatch tapes from my case, one of my cases. Okay, I have the actual dispatch tape. I have the county doctored dispatch tape, and I have the state police doctored. Notice that the two are doctored separately. Yeah, they were. Not only that, they're missing. The first one was missing, only 18 minutes right from the get-go, and then it got worse from there. The state police dispatch tape, they immediately cobbled and chopped and cobbled, and it was missing something like 38 minutes to 42 minutes right from the get-go, after the first few words are spoken. So if you believe anything, well, they had this and they had that. No, I'm going to tell you right now, they are flat-out liars. Here's the problem, is that everybody, well, that was that case. People, we've been doing this for a very long time, and this is the one thing as critical voices we have to speak up, and all of you need to speak up too. These people have lied for not just decades, but a half century. They are consummate, constant liars. To the point where I don't give a. In fact, you know what's funny? The state police, when they were literally, this is when I was in court. I'm in court. and the state police are there, and they've got all this committee of monkeys in the lobby, and there's about 100 people in the lobby. And they're coming in and talking to, the lawyer and going, they're out there fabricating stuff right now. And everybody there, they were so blatant people that they literally were doing it right, standing there in front of everybody. So about 100 people the cops are this, and they're so wonderful. And that. They all had an in-place first-person witness and an epiphany about how things really work. There was person after person who came into the courtroom and goes, do you know what they're doing out there in the lobby? They're re-engineering. They're lying. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, and of course it's like, yeah, And another person would come in, and someone would be like these prim little ladies who they have a business suit on, and they're coming in. I was out there, and I've been there for 20 minutes listening to them, and these characters did this, and they said this, and then they said, well, we're going to change that because we got, they're lying. And it's like, really? Wow, what a surprise. So you were witness to that. Yeah. The judge doesn't care. The judge doesn't care. She's going to let him lie. And so will the prostituter, because they're lying too. Isn't that special? See, people, this is how blatant it is. But again, think about this. This is like a sidebar, little Tempest in a Teapot by comparison to what we're heading for in November. Why do you think they're doing this right now? Why do you think they're doing this right now? Why do you think they're doing this right now? Attention, attention, attention. Why do you think they are doing this right now?
And remember, in this year, whenever you're hearing about, oh my God, we got all these recordings, we have all this stuff on this group. Let's remember, it states right here in the criminal complaint that confidential human source number one is one of their former members, who probably, I want to be the Sarge. And they said, no, you ain't got enough time, blah, 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 blah. So you just need to just do your time and relax. And he was paid $8,600, by the way, too. So let's not forget the dollar value.
He's a commercial whore, is what it comes down to. Remember, that's the first thing. How much you paid? What? How much you paid? Do you get paid if you don't produce, or do you get paid if you produce? So
only
in other words,
if
you lie, you produce, and if you lie, then you get money. Well, that makes you you're a commercial prostitute / a whore. No, he's a witness. No, he's a whore.
Confidential informant number 2 was paid $14,800.
Purely. Wait a minute. Stop right there. He was doing it because of his social concern, not for the $14,000 in cash he pocketed, which motivated him to lie. Oh, that's right.
So,
he's getting money.
And let's remember that, if you don't come back with another report that's saying, oh, yeah, well, they're going to plan this, and they're going to plan that, and they're doing this criminal act and that criminal act, if you keep coming back and saying, oh, well, they're really not doing anything, then they say, well, then there's no need for you, and we don't need to pay you no more. That's how confidential informants are destroyed in court. Because, were you getting paid to do this? Well, yeah. Well, what happens if you weren't getting paid? Well, then, or you weren't coming back with these reports. Well, I want to be there, and I want to get paid. So anytime you read this stuff, anytime you hear about it, just remember it's the money, the money, the money. So, yeah, the more I read this criminal complaint, the more I look at the situation. In my opinion, I think these guys, they'll do at least 2 years before they actually bring it to trial, more than likely. But if we're not fighting within 2 years, I can see an acquittal on this case as well. The FBI is incompetent. Again, the FBI is completely incompetent. So anything they do is a lie, and they made it all up. It was their plot, their plan. Everybody else is just stooges, and without the FBI, there is no plot and there is no plan. You don't have no explosives without the FBI. You don't have fill in the blank without the FBI. Every terrorist act that's taken place in our nation has been committed by the FBI. Anytime you read court documents, you can look back and say, oh, the FBI built the bomb. Oh, the FBI gave them the automatic weapons. Oh, the FBI, whatever. Whatever the criminal charges are, the FBI was behind it. Remember that. Them lying creeps are at it again here in the state of Michigan. And anybody who falls for this crap and posts on Facebook or goes on TV and, oh, my God, I can't believe these people are going to do that. You need to be drug out and you need to be drugged down the road behind a Chevy until there's nothing left of you because you're just too stupid to breathe air. So that's my opinion. Anyways, back to you, Mark.
Well, we are almost to the top here for everybody out there. Again, I want to touch on this real quick because it is definitely worthwhile for everybody who is looking at arming up and equipping right now, guys. The Italian body armor, there's an Italian hard armor panel. It is tapered. It's $30 basically. Free shipping over $49 if you're a club member for a Sportsman's Guide. But go check it out. It's posted over there on the page. It's a new item. They just brought it up in body armor. There may be some others. I haven't even looked yet. But go check that out. Want to remind you before we get to the top. Also, again, with everybody, light up your radio nets. And as you know, like I said, we have Channel 31 back down along with its entire grid. They're back down below the bridge. They came down last night. And they were supposed to stay up in the UP for the next, actually almost for the week. But we did finish all the work up towards Wisconsin, so that grid is now in place all the way up to the Keweenaw. They are now in monitor/maintenance mode, so they're going to be operating and monitoring all activities for the middle and lower half of the state. So we'll see again how things develop there. Your radio grid should be up and online. Don't forget to test all of your equipment. Make sure that all of your batteries are in place. And prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. Have a plan, have a backup plan, and then have another plan. And also keep track of where everybody is. Tomorrow's Friday. They'll try and dink with everybody then. That's the kind of scam they play. Remember, 4 or 5 in the morning, if you're wise, you'll be putting all the breakables, stuff out there that has fun, so that in the pre-dawn hours, you'll hear things going boom in the night. Just something to think about. And everybody's creative, so however you want to be creative, like I said, you'll be able to tell. Just keep, in fact, reverse lighting. Shut the lighting down. Normally that you have on, shut the lighting down. That way when you have the flash and the boom, hit the lights, turn them on, shut them off again. Makes it a little more difficult to see. But that's if there's some kind of break-in artists, or I'm sure there'll be thieves or scallywags or brigands that you have to deal with on a Friday morning, probably. But and again, they have to be criminals because only criminals will be coming and skulking in across the property and trying to break in. Let's see. Otherwise, one other thing. I can't forget that. AIMSurplus.com. AIMSurplus.com. They got some 223 in the gold Wolf and in the standard steel case Wolf, 55 grain FMJ. And they also have some 762x39 in stock still. So for those of you, I know that stuff clears out as quick as it shows up. The 9mm is gone for the moment, but I'm sure they will have some more. I talked to them in the morning, and they said, they probably got another batch and some 40 cal that will be in and might be listed tomorrow. So for any of you out there looking for that, make sure you pick it up.
Hey, Mark.
Go ahead, caller. Jump in there. Carl, go ahead. I recognize you.
This is Carl in Virginia. Hey, you talking about early in the morning and low light and all that. Hey, out of curiosity, do you still have any copies of the old night vision video? I know the new one's on hold for now, but do you have any of the old ones?
Yes, we are. I'm cranking them out right now, as a matter of fact, although I've got some that are in the envelope, got to go out. Go ahead. What do you need?
That's all I need to know is that you have them. Very good.
Yep. Not a problem. In fact, priority, if you want. They're, when we get to 8 o'clock, Dave, you'll be back with us, right?
Yeah, I'll come back up at 8.
Let's go over everything again.
At least for a little while.
Yeah. For everybody out there, guys, again, Organized Arm Equipment Train as Militia. Carl, I need you to do me a favor. You've got one of those Brit vests. I need a measurement for the inside panel from the bottom of the throat on the front to the bottom of the vest. What is the distance from the base of the throat to the bottom of the vest?
Interior or exterior?
Well, it'll be the interior because if those Italian plates fit, you can upgrade that vest right now. Sportsman's Guide got it.
Well?
Huh?
Did you need a width as well, or just the height?
Yeah, if you could. Well, if you look, I'll give you an idea. If you go over to Sportsman's Guide, guys, for everybody listening up, go to www.sportsmansguide, and they just got these things in. They're new. It is a Italian hard plate. It is a wraparound type, and to me, the contour, if the height is correct, this should slide right into those Brit vests. It's Italian. In fact, it's Italian military surplus carabinieri vest plate with Kevlar used. They're $27. I said $30. They're $27. They are $30 regular price. They're in stock right now. It's item number WX2-714915. That vest, if that panel fits inside the Brit vest, you've just upgraded dramatically. And you can do just a front plate, or you can do one front and one rear if they fit. So, just something to think about. What I'll have to do is we'll just have to get another one of these and experiment. But for everybody out there, we talked about upgrading. Here's an upgrade for you right here. So the British vest, which is again, look like they're virtually new. This is the hard Kevlar, compression Kevlar. And if it'll slide in with the soft plate, oh, dudes, you've got yourself, you're heading towards the middle rifle range without spending rifle range price. At the very least, this is going to be a significant upgrade. Throw some chicken plates in the pockets up front, and now you're really going to town. So, solution.
Okay, expect an email from me.
Very good. And again, or give us a follow-up at 8 o'clock. Well, I'm going to let you go, everybody. We're at the top here. We're going to hear the music in a minute. And it's Italian military surplus carabinieri vest plate with Kevlar. We're where we expected to be with regard to the conflict. Guys, we're going into the shipwreck. The bad guys are going to be pulling the stops, playing everything they can. Stay calm. We got the thinkers. They got the stinkers. Just arm up. Make sure you fix bayonets and sharpen them. Make sure your magazines are loaded up. Something happens, like I said, if it once the first bullet flies, use it or lose it. You got nothing to lose, everything to gain. You got to be the winner. So whatever happens over the next, month here, oh well. Otherwise, somebody's asking about those vests. British military surplus DPM ballistic flak vest with plates used. They're $85.50 a piece. All people have got them. They look almost like they're new. Now, it's the British military surplus DPM ballistic flak vest with plates used, $85.50. That other plate might slide into that vest, but we're going to have to find out. The dimensions are on the page for the hard vest, for the hard plate. It's just the plate, no carrier for the first one. Italian military surplus carabinieri vest plate. That may slide right into that British vest, and if it does, you've got a significant upgrade right there. Congratulations. Anyway, we are at the top. God bless our republic.
Death to the New World Order.
We shall prevail, ladies and gentlemen. The empire is on the run.
We are on the march, both day and night.
Hoorah! Anyway, Dave, thank you for being there, sir.
Yep.
Guys, for everybody out there, stay frosty, stay focused. Oh, well, just like what happened, like I said, when they attacked Dave. Guys, we should be better at what we're doing, and we are. And now we have even more people ready to roll, so if it kicks off, you got friends everywhere. You hear small arms fire, make sure you're combat loaded and ready to go. God bless. Bye-bye.
Shine on the old Liberty tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. March along with the Piper boys, we were born forever free. Let's go pay the Piper boys beneath the Liberty tree.
This session is no longer being recorded. Goodbye.